All right, all right, all right, all right, all right, all right. Okay, how do I get people in here? That's the question. Hello, Apostolos Komnenos. I am guessing Greek. Boyan, I am guessing Southeast Europe. I'm just guessing. So I'm trying out this new feature, which is called camera. So you kind of just go live like that, and then, I don't know, magic happens. Hey, look, Cato de Vinto is here. Hey, and Fanis is here. I am, hello, Fletcher. I am good. I am tired. I am so tired. I just got home from the office, and I got to the office from Malmö yesterday. I was in Copenhagen, so I'm a little tired. It's been a hectic couple of days. And I thought, oh man, I need a video for first day. Then I thought I would do a language challenge, but then things was dragged out in Copenhagen, so I never got around to do that. So, but it's good. It's nice to go live sometimes, not as an excuse, but yeah. Hello, Rivans. Hello from Switzerland. What did I? Oh yeah, I saw an episode of The Crown where they talked about Switzerland. The World Wildlife Foundation has their headquarters there. Hello from Romania. Hello, Romania. What happens in Romania? We might never know. It depends. Yeah, so I didn't have time. I could have sat down and done like a good talk video, but it's Thursday, and good talks is on Tuesdays. You got to stick by the schedule. You are from Belgium. Oh yeah, the wind. Yeah, that makes sense, I guess. Yes, and Macedonia. Who do I have for the YouTube World Project from Macedonia? Let's look at that. From last time, I had Gordana. Oh yeah, she was by the lake. So I'm doing a new version of the YouTube World Project, which is this 2015 massive project where I gathered people from around the world during a 12 or 13 month period. And I kind of kickstarted that again to do a second edition because I got more clips in after that from countries I didn't have, and then I'm updating some countries. So the other day I got a yes from Cuba, and a yes from Sudan. And I'm like, what? Which is very cool. Yes, the winter. Macedonia is a fake country. Yes, from Greece. It's in the name, sort of. Whoops, almost pushed my glass out there. So I'm doing that, and I also have like a maybe from Guatemala, which is also a country I did not include in the first version. So if you are from countries that I don't have new versions of, let me know and let's make that happen. Very cool to talk to someone from Sudan. I mean, I had South Sudan in the last one, but not Sudan, which is a bigger country, and they split up. Hello from Härnösand. I'm also from Sudan. Ooh, it seems you are quite popular among Sudanese. I know. This face is perfect for Sudan. I also have a standing invitation from the guy who was from South Sudan in the last project in 2015, Jackson Dahlia. And I'm like, I'm in Copenhagen right now. I'm using Swedish in Denmark and vice versa, just saying that. I was in Copenhagen yesterday. Walked around the square. We understood that compared to Sweden, in Sweden, if you're serving alcohol, you need to have some form of dining, some form of food. But in Copenhagen or in Denmark, you don't have to. So we walked into all these places looking for food, and we're like, we have bare alcohol here. We only have alcohol here. And I'm like, I don't even drink. But then we found this really nice place, sort of opposite to the entrance to the new amusement park Tivoli, which was great. Can you maybe do a video on the difference between Scandinavian languages? I'd love to watch. Isn't that called a language challenge? Sure. I'm just curious to how a video like that would take its form. If it would be like the way I think about Finnish and Danish and Norwegian and Icelandic, or if there's more of I don't know, scientific way to do it. It would be fun to do a fun video. There's a Norwegian video. There are actually two Norwegian videos. One Norwegian where they compared like the different languages in Scandinavia, where the word for the devil, or when you say like "damn" in Norwegian, it's like "funden" or "fan," and then they did Finnish "perkele," and there's also a Norwegian video. It's in Danish. Well, it's in fake Danish. It's a sketch where they talk about the deterioration of the Danish language. I love it. Jag förstår det gott. Yeah. Have you seen a teaser for Pokemon movie or going to watch it? I have not seen it. The thing is, I mean, I still play Pokemon Go, but I never saw the series back then, the cartoon, because I think I was a little too old when they came out. Yeah, but I will look at the teaser. Is Swedish a really hard language? Some people say, because especially the Stockholm Swedish, it's very like it doesn't kind of roll and flow. I mean, my dialect from the south does, because it's closer to Danish, or well, it's closer to the Germanic and the Roman languages, whereas further up in Sweden, it's kind of like hard consonants. But it is a Germanic language, so if you have some German skills, it will probably be easier. Simple differences. Yeah, I mean, there are also. I think I've made a few videos like false friends, where a certain word means something else in another country, like the word rolig, ROLIG. That means fun or funny in Swedish, but in Danish and I think also Norwegian, it means to be calm. I know. I am from Malmö originally. I haven't lived there for many, many years, but that's where I am from originally. Born and bred Skåne. What? I am tired. I am so extremely tired. And I just tried to find a time to make a video, and I didn't find the time because I had some meetings that kind of went over time, and I didn't want to stress shit out. So instead, I thought I would go live and talk to you like now. It just has some hard sounds you have to learn. Yes, exactly. I sat next to two. I couldn't. I mean, okay. So this is you, Katu. This might be offensive. I don't know. But sometimes it's hard for me to tell the difference between Dutch and Northern Belgian people. And yesterday at the table next to us, we had two guys from that region speaking some form of Dutch. And one of them poured their fries out, of course, on the floor. And then we had this like mini conversation. I was this close to saying one of the few things I know in the Netherlandish, which is also the name of a song I made here on YouTube once. It's called Ik ben opgewonden. I almost said that. Yeah. Moi moi, they said. No. But yeah, I'm pretty tired, and I'm just trying to. When you come home and the computer's been on, there's so many so many, what do you call them, tabs open. There we go. I'm back. So what's up in your lives and stuff? Did you see my animated music video that took 6.5 years to do? That was fun. Nice to have it out. Is it true that it's rude to ask quiz about the political affiliation? Depends on who you ask. If you ask, I mean, if you see a very leftist person, you kind of know that that's a very leftist person. If you see someone with like, that's probably a moderate to right person. But I mean, compared to the US, where people put signs out in their yards, this is who I'm voting for. We don't do that in Sweden. We absolutely do not do that. I mean, it might be rude to just kind of straightforward just ask, what did you vote for? But it's not rude to start a conversation, and then after like a couple of sentences, you will know sort of where on the scale that person, I guess, ends up. Do you have a favorite language? I mean, I would like to learn to speak fluent French, but I'm thinking like favorite language to listen to. I do like Icelandic because it's cute. What else do I like? Uh, hmm, I like Portuguese, Brazilian Portuguese, and I think it more depends on how people like pitch and stuff. Because some languages are really comfortable to listen to when the right person is speaking it. Yes, so much effort worth the 6 years wait, I guess. So good to have it out. Oh. It feels like I made so much room for more inspiration and energy in my brain after that was released. I speak Swedish, English. Well, I mean, I can get by with Danish, I guess, and Norwegian. Depends on which Norwegian. I know a little bit of Latin, at least I can read, and I can speak fake German. uh, I know some French, and I can sort of. I wouldn't die in Spain if nobody uh, spoke anything but Spanish. I would probably manage somehow. Necesito comida, por favor, porque es morte annars otherwise. Yeah. Are you going to Ireland? I don't have plans. I've never been to Ireland. I mean, if you take those islands, Ireland and the UK. I mean, UK. I've only really been to England and Scotland. Haven't been to Northern Ireland, Wales, or Ireland. I know they don't belong together like that, and there are problems with Brexit because of the border to Northern Ireland and stuff. But no, I haven't yet been. But I have friends who live there, so I should. Danish sounds like a Norwegian speaking with a donut in their mouth. Speaking of languages, I like Danish English. I don't know. There's something about it. Let me try and read you. Do Swedes like the king? Will you ever move out from Sweden? Pretty sure Danish is just a made-up language. I love that dialect. What did I just read? Or a lot of things you're undertaking. How do you manage your time? That's the thing. I mean, I have a full-time job. I have a YouTube channel, and I study full-time distance course. Although, to be totally frank, I actually did not pass the last hand-in, so I have to redo some things this weekend. I kind of just threw that together, and it wasn't my best work. I blame YouTube. But yeah, I'm not sure how I manage. My wife works evenings so often, which means I have sort of me time even after work, like tonight. Do Swedes like the king? Yeah. I mean, it's not at the level of the United Kingdom. We don't consider ourselves subjects of our king. Our king is more of like I don't know, good for trade and good for international relations and stuff. Will you ever move out of Sweden? I have lived in Australia and I have lived in Norway, and I don't know. I'm only 39. I could still move somewhere. I think I would. I think I would like to move somewhere. I'm actually going to do a video, maybe for Tuesday, a good talk video about that, because as I was researching, if you want to call it that, potential people for the YouTube World Project, I just came across so many images of people doing cool things around the world, and I'm like, I want to do that. I want to do cool things. I mean, I do on occasion cool things on YouTube, but I want to go out and see the world more. Fake German, you get away with it. I made a whole video, maybe not a whole video, but almost a whole video. Because I mean, I never took German in school, but if you just Germify it, ich want to sprechen Deutschen Massenmorgen. Because what the Germans said, the Germans who commented that video, they were like, I actually kind of understand what you're saying. Hello, Isku. What up? Yes, I am alive. Barely. Could you recommend a Swedish movie that you think improved your life, even if a little bit? Oh, I mean, aside from things I watched as a kid, because that obviously forms your life. I think that the problem is that Swedish films are often melodramatic and sort of close to the way that people actually perceive us, like a little dark and closed in. We don't really do the happy inspiration films. There's a film called Eva and Adam, not the kids one, but another one from, I think it's from like 2000 or something, which is sort of like a romantic comedy. I like that one a lot. I mean, I don't think it's changed my life. It wasn't like the opening sequence to The Lion King, but there are some good films there. What's it called? The Blomster nu kommer. Let me just check. It's called in English because it was recently released. I've seen it twice. Why is it not? Okay, here's an English one. There's an English Wikipedia, and it's the Swedish title. Why is that? It was called what was it called? English title. Yeah, welcome to Livestream where I'm Google stuff. I was pretty sure that it had an English title, but maybe not. In the Swedish, it's made by a Swedish film collective Crazy Pictures. Sweden faces a mysterious attack while Alex tries to unite with his youth love Anna. There you go. It has an English title. I just can't think of it, and I can't find it. Anyway, welcome back. I'm Martin. I'm back. Hello, Samir. I'm good. Just came back from Copenhagen and Trollhättan. I was there too. Do you think Swedish people are pessimistic? I think that's sort of like our starting point. But as soon as you show a little bit of kindness, or you just notice someone, or just say hi to someone, Swedes are like, if you go out on islands around Sweden, people are generally more friendly. I mean, the bigger the city, the unfriendlier people are. And Stockholm is sort of extreme, and Gothenburg is somewhere in between. Whereas Malmö, the third biggest city, I think people are generally quite, happy and stuff. Often when you go out into the countryside, people are generally more friendly. They're also less tolerant to things like multicultural. So it has this weird balance. If you live in the suburbs, I guess you have a perfect balance. But I think also, I mean, Sweden ranks as one of the happiest people in the world. I think Denmark is often number one, but the reason Denmark is number one is that they have such low expectations of life. And I guess that's not what I want to be. I want to have high expectations of life and do things with my life with the risk of not achieving it, instead of just living my life just for the sake of living it. What kind of life is that? What's that cheesy police movie? Oh, which one? There are so many like police. That's one of the things we do. Crime, police and crime. We're good at that. There's some good series, like The Bridge. That's a good series, a Swedish-Danish collaboration. Galenskapen After Shave is nice. Yeah, it's like Sweden's Monty Python, I guess. Comedic groups. They've done some film, but they're mostly famous for their series and their stage reviews. What do you think about Turkish people? I mean, I know a few people from Turkey, and they're really nice. I like them. I'm not sure if that's how you define a whole country. I've learned that you shouldn't define a country based on the politics of that country. That is something very important, because then we would just hate all Americans, and we don't. We don't. So never judge a country by the politics of that country, because there are so many internal struggles where people are in different ways seeking justice and the pursuit of happiness, which is sometimes not shared by the silent majority. But keep on fighting and keep on making friends like this. I mean, the cool thing, I'm sitting here in my room in Stockholm next to the tracks here. I see the Arlanda Express to the airport that passes by every now and then, and I'm sitting talking to people from all around the world, and it is just amazing. Because imagine, I've said this many times, the promise of the internet. Imagine that we can create connections, not just our politicians towards each other, because then it's politics, but we create these connections. We interact like this way. We meet each other in different places of the world, and we form our own coalitions. What if that could actually prevent wars? Good talk. Have you ever been to Faroe Islands? I have not. I have so many places I need to go. If not politics, then what is? I know. And the thing is, I mean, if you look at the YouTube World Project from 2015, many of those people or some of them are friends of mine. Some of them have become my friends because of that project. And I just, on my bucket list, there are just so many people around the world that I'm still waiting to meet for the first time. And that's a comforting thought when you empty your mailbox and you find all the bills, and you occasionally, in general, you go to a work that you don't enjoy every day. I mean, I enjoy my work, but sometimes maybe I should be on the Galapagos Islands instead of trying to fix this invoice that someone messed up. There's a thought. I'm also following my friend Lily, whom I mostly only really meet at Sweden Rock. She's in Australia right now, and she's kind of doing what I did many years ago, but now with the internet. I mean, obviously the internet existed back then, but you didn't have Wi-Fi, you didn't have smartphones, and it's just a very cool thing to see people from around the world just being people. How people perceive success in different countries. It is. I mean, it truly is. And even within, because you can never say that this is what Swedes are like, or this is what Danes are like, this is what Turks are like, because there are obviously many different layers of everything. And I guess in the broadest sense of everything is just find those people that make you happy. Follow those people that inspire you on social media, and just unfollow those that just don't make you feel good. I mean, I know that it creates like this bubble, but at the same time, nobody has set up the structure and the rules of how things are supposed to be. Who are you supposed to follow? What are you supposed to see? As long as you keep an open mind to the fact that other people have other realities and other experiences, and you have like normal conversations with them, and maybe you can affect the way that if they have negative views on things that you have positive views on, and just kind of broaden that spectra. I think that's very important. PewDiePie is the greatest Swede of all time. Yeah. I'm thinking of who is my favorite Swede of all time. I mean, obviously a big Zlatan Ibrahimovic fan, because from Malmö and stuff. But I'm thinking, who would I have wanted? Who would I not want to meet or have wanted to meet? Interesting. Maybe Astrid Lindgren. Yeah, the writer Astrid Lindgren. She passed away, I guess, I think in 2003. She had a big impact on my childhood with her books. So yeah, she is the greatest Swede of all time. There's a famous situation, let's call it that, I think it was during the 90s, when people decided to be skinheads and generally obnoxious. And at one point, she ran into one of these skinheads, and this guy had read her books, and he was like a big fan of her. And her response was stop skinheading. Stop skinheading. Sluta skinheadsa. I don't know what happened to that person, but it's yeah, we need these role models to kind of steer people, boys and girls, onto a path that is somewhat broadly accepted by many. And what that is kind of up to the majority, I guess. And that's why we have different views on. We have different views around the world on things like gender, women's rights, sexuality, nudity, politics, who governs and who doesn't, and stuff like that. And I guess we can learn. I mean, if we can learn from each other more than to just slander each other, that would be a good thing. Let's see, where are we? Yes, labeling people is the easy part. I had this, like, there's a movie or a series. No, it's Michael Buckley. Michael Buckley in actually one of the first videos, the first video that made me subscribe to a YouTube channel, where he talks about Lonely Girl 15. He actually talks about Donald Trump and his show, and how he cast the members to The Apprentice, like, you psycho, you drunk, you. And that's kind of what popped up in my head when I read your comment there, labeling people. Anyway, sidetrack. Great to see you here. Thanks for bringing the positivity day after day. Makes my life better. What made you want to go live today? It was the inspiration that I can give to people. Actually, to be fully honest, it was the fact that I just haven't had time to make a video, a 10 Swedish words of language challenge, because I've been away this whole week, and I thought I would get home sooner. But then I also thought that instead of just like not doing anything, or just like, oh, sorry, no video, I thought, why not go live? It's actually nice to go live more often. And I also have kind of a big going live project that I've been thinking about for a few years that I might make real next year. It involves me talking to people from all over the world, like going live camera with people in every time zone, and go around the world for 24 hours and just stay awake for 24 hours. Hint, if you want to be part of that would be fun. Yes, Stan Lee passed away, but I don't know, somehow when you have reached the age, I think it was 95, I think that's when my grandmother was 95, she's like, I think I've done my part now. It'll be good to just rest forever. She went on to live to 99, but I mean, if you make it past 90, good for you, because there are so many tragic things with people dying way too young or too soon for all reasons possible. Yeah, if you ever have the chance of giving to like cancer research, do it. Fuck cancer. Why is Sweden politician choosing to give up Swedish women to I don't know. It just doesn't. It's just a weird question because it has no root in my reality whatsoever. I need 100A. I need 100A. You mean grades? You're taking a lot of courses. Dave Fromage. Fromage means cheese. He is from Texas. I've been to Texas back in 2004, election week. The week before the election. Well, I passed through. I changed bus in Dallas, but still, been there. Boom. We have another Ireland person, TPO55. I got a question earlier about going to Ireland, and I also talked earlier about the fact that I want to see more of the world, and just I want to see more of the world, take in more of the world and all the cultures out in the world, and bring that wisdom, I don't know, home to people here and to spread it on. Just to, I mean, just go on to Google Maps, go onto that site, and then zoom down to where you are, then zoom out, and then flip that globe a little bit and zoom down to the same distance down, and then realize that there are people living there. There are actually people living there, and then you start thinking about their lives and what they're about, and and what they think about, what they dream about. That's a pretty cool thing. It becomes like a Sim City perspective on the people living on this planet. What are some of the Swedish stereotypes that you hate? Not hate, but I mean, when people look down instead of looking up, when they sit on, there's like 2 seats on each side of a bus. There's one on each row, and preferably on the aisle seat, so that people have to like, oh, can I sit there? And I'm like, oh, okay. And I guess a big city thing is that people are rushing to get onto a subway, even though there's another one coming in 4 minutes. So. Yes, you're an NPC. You're the definition of NPC. Is that one of those like how you define different people? Because I've started to kind of, at some point, I looked onto what's wrong. I think I still have that open somewhere, or maybe I closed it. Yeah, maybe here. So there's something called INFP. It's an acronym used to describe one of 16 personality types. The INFP, which I'm not sure is the same as you were referring to, indicates a person who is energized by time alone, introverted, who focuses on ideas and concepts rather than facts and details, who makes decisions based on feelings and values, yes, and who prefers to be spontaneous and flexible rather than planned and organized, not making a video, perceiving. They're also sometimes referred as healer personalities due to their sympathetic idealism and gentle compassion for other people. Well, sign me up and call me a monkey. Boom! I think that's a quote from Friends. What is NPC? What does that person do and think? Because NPC and I had INFP. I don't know if, let's see. Maybe it's because it's this is based on a thing that Catherine Briggs and Isabel Myers created, and I guess what you're drawing from is another sort of set of structure around the same thing. Yeah. Well, thank you. Happy holidays. Is it holidays? It's my wife's birthday next week. That's a holiday. I took time off. I live in Coushatta, LA. Coushatta, LA, you say. Is that in LA or is it? Because I'm thinking Chattanooga. I'm just thinking, is it Tennessee or is it in LA? Who's the most iconic jazz musician in Sweden? I have no idea. I know for a fact, though, that many famous jazz musicians from around the world often have recordings from Stockholm back in the 40s and 50s and 60s. But I couldn't tell you. I know of one person from where I used to live, but I don't remember his name. Yeah. Hey, Elin. Yes. Why not read when you say something phonetically without saying it phonetically? Why don't you write in English and people understand? Yes, LA is obviously Louisiana. I don't know. The election is over. Well, then I was right about the South. Boom. The dog has been watching my videos. Too bad, Bird, I love your videos. Thank you. I like your generalization. They're all good. We talked about that today, actually. That the fact that I've always done videos that I personally wanted to do myself and not necessarily what people wanted to see. I mean, I obviously try to merge those two because it makes sense. Otherwise, what's the point? But I've often said no or declined or stopped doing types of videos that might have been popular, but I did not enjoy making them. Because I think that as soon as you start making things that other people, as soon as you start making things for other people and not yourself, you will lose interest and it'll become a drag. I guess that's why I've been able to keep this up for so many years. Why did the skeleton cross the road? Why did a skeleton cross the road? I'm guessing there's a question mark there. we will all be excited to hear. Minty is just cold spice. Okay. Everyone got that? Yeah, there is no point if you're not enjoying it, because then it's just labor. And obviously I don't want this to be labor. I want this to be a fun place to express myself and to influence others in positive ways, and maybe give them some, I don't know, insights into Sweden and Swedish culture to get to the body shop. Yeah. Hello, Jesse0506. And good evening to you. You have one of those names that you can't really ever tell if it's which it is. I'll just say good evening to you, person. Do you enjoy life? Sometimes do you think, what is the point of living, doing everything you achieved in a boring life? No, yeah, I touched upon that earlier. The fact that what's the point of just living for the sake of living instead of actually living and being hit by all these different feelings and emotions and impressions, and I don't know, try to leave the world in a better state for the people around you than when you came. I think there's a lot of personal reward in that. People often say, if I only had money. Well, I mean, it's not money you're actually looking for, because the classic money won't bring you happiness, because it's what you possibly can do with money. I mean, I often feel that whenever I get a salary and then I don't have any bills and I have more money than usual over, I'm like, I almost get a little like, oh, because then there's like pressure. You have this money, you should be able to do something. And I'm like, but that's not the main thing. I actually think that people who live much simpler life, who don't have big loans and stuff, they're actually happier, because they're not stuck in the structure of what you're supposed to be and supposed to do in order to be happy. I'm in the pursuit of happiness, Nano. Yeah. But I do enjoy life for most life. You need help in covering all the bands of Sweden Rock. Too much for one person. Give another camera to one of your friends. We've actually talked about that. I mean, last time, or this year, it was still this year, I did have other people film the interviews, the band interviews. But there is like a special relationship with the camera when I'm vlogging, when I'm talking to the camera, because then I'm talking directly to you. If someone was holding the camera, then I would be talking to them. And that person is not you. But there are certain times when it would be nice to actually give the camera, just so that I interact and I do things where you see the entirety of me. I did do that a couple of times when Lily had the camera or Linnea had the camera. But yeah, Sweden Rock, oh, it's only like 7-8 months away. Have you ever been to Västerås? Oh yes, I have. I was there for Västerås Pride this year. My friend Melanie was playing on the stage. That was the last time I was there, latest time. So yes, it's only like 10 minutes. It's 100K from here, an hour from here. So has someone actually called you Sven instead of Martin? Oh yes, especially I guess it's Sweden Rock, because people love that tagline. I do too. I'm a big Eurovision fan. I just want to say I love Loreen. It's a shame she didn't win Melodifestivalen. Well, she's won the whole Eurovision, and she's from Västerås, if I'm not mistaken. Boom. So what are your opinions on Europe adding Article 13? I mean, the thing is, I haven't dived super deep into it, but I think the main points, maybe I'm totally off with this, is that each of the platforms, social platforms, need to have a system for identifying people's work, right? But YouTube already has that. They already have the content ID, so it's more something that I think affects Facebook and others. And I have very strong objections to the idea that they will be able to police and content ID things like that, because then you would have to feed all that information, like all the information you can possibly think of needed to be fed into a system and then have owners assigned to them. How would you be able to do that? I mean, there's no money in it, so you can't hire people to do it. So on the one hand, I'm not worried because I think it's an apparatus that is just too big that they won't be able to actually go through with it. On the other hand, I'm worried that there might be people in power who just still haven't gotten to the point where they understand digital media. It's still very young. It's only really, I mean, social media, we've only talked about social media for like last 10, 15 years. And we've only talked about the internet for, what is it? 20, a little over 20 years, 25 max. So I think that we have to be skeptical, but let's not blow things out of proportions before we really know how things are going to be integrated. But yes, if you feel worried, talk to people, discuss it, and there are many ways that does not include throwing bricks at G8 summits to protest. I mean, just threatening to unseat a politician because that politician is not representing you is also a good idea. Yay, democracy. Larissa is from Gryta in Västerås. Haven't you been in Önsta Gryta school? I have not, but I know where Önsta is. Love Sweden and your music. I grew up listening to Scandinavian metal scene. Was second time in your amazing country at Freak Guitar Camp this year and met Matthias Eklund. A life-changing experience. Cool. I do not know what Freak Guitar Camp is, and I'm not familiar with him, but yay, metal. I asked my friend Sonny Svensson, who is the boyfriend of Katrin Bent, what he preferred, black metal or blues. Nyponsoppa. I live in Stockholm. Whew. Oh, I'm so tired. My wife doesn't get off until 10, which is for us a little over 3 hours from now. Haven't seen her since like Monday morning. And the cat is at my in-laws, so I'm like, I am all alone, no cat around with me. Do you like Nirvana? I like some of their songs. I'm not a big fan, or I haven't invested really enough time into their music. So I like, but I haven't yet started to love. Good talk. Oh, my voice is good. I think that's because I'm getting a little more tired, and now my voice is starting to fail me. Let's switch to the next little vitamin drink here. Yay! It's not pee. I turn. Okay, let's. I think I actually mentioned this earlier in the chat, but let's see if you paid attention. People in the chat, how old am I right now? Go. What does the Jeopardy music sound like? Mark G is wrong. Name I can't pronounce is wrong. Nemanja Smiljanic is wrong. Ivan Slipnut is correct. I am 39. In the year of 39, a simple human volunteer. I turn 40 next summer. And you would think that, oh, turning 40. But the thing is, like up here, I still feel like I'm 12. Thanks, Ivans. Love you too. And I don't know, there's something weird about age lately where, I mean, when I was a kid, if you were 65, you were in a wheelchair, more or less, or you sat in front of the TV with the big headphones. Now you have 70, 75-year-olds hiking and climbing mountains. So something has happened to age. And the thing is, many of my friends are younger than me, most of my friends. And I have friends that are like 35, 30, 25, 20. There's a girl called Elin, a YouTuber. A few years ago when we went to this gala thing, I asked her if she was going to join us for the after party, and then and then she was like, "I'm 14." I'm like, "Really?" And then that's been a standing joke ever since. And now she actually turned 18 this summer, so now she can actually go to the after party. But yeah, age for me has never been an issue with people. I used to hang out. I used to hang out. I have friends that are much older than me and much younger. It's just as long as you have something in common to talk about, screw age. But well, if you know who Evelina Forsell is, she's a Swedish YouTuber who does English videos, makeup and hair and stuff, lifestyle. She when she got to guess my age at an event, she said 25. She was a little tipsy. She said 25. I hugged her and then I told her, because then I was 37. She was like, 37? That's almost 40. And then I took the hug back. But yeah, age, screw it. Elin Anderson, well, Elinens. There are two Elin Andersons. they're both named, and I think their birthdays actually the day after each other. So Elinens from the south. I have met the other Elin Anderson a few times. Youth is about the youngness of one's spirits. You are pretty young, forever young. Let's not get tired, let's dance for a while. Heaven can wait, we're only watching the sky. That's one on my bucket list. I want to see Alphaville live and hear Forever Young. It's on my bucket list. How old when I had your first sex? Yeah, I was younger than I am now. But I was of legal age. And so was that person. P. Oh. So I have this idea for a 10 Swedish words video that there was no chance I was going to make or have time to make for this week, but I'm going to aim for next week. An animated, I know what you're saying, but a much easier one than last time. Much easier one with a more comedic touch, which might be a reoccurring type of video, because once I've done the animation once, I can reuse it over and over. But try to put some weird twist comedy in and tricking you to learn Swedish words. I know, savage. It's like C vitamin with orange taste, but because I picked a big glass with a lot of water, normally you have like a half the glass, it became really, the yellow color is not as strong as it's supposed to be. Yes, it's P. Golden shower. Hey there, people, I'm Bobby Brown. I haven't heard that in a while. As long as I get a little golden shower. Yeah. I wonder what the delay of the chat is. Okay, let's do a test. I will say a word, and I will pick a letter on the alphabet, and I will say the letter, and I'll just see how long it takes before anyone types it. The letter is Q, as in Quincy. Q. Hmm. 4 seconds, not bad. Or good guess, Alien. Oh no, so many Qs. What TV shows are you watching at the moment? I'm rewatching The Crown ahead of the first season. I'm watching The Bodyguard, not the film Whitney Houston, but the series on Netflix. I am sort of going in and out of Black Orphan Black. And yeah, I think those are the ones that we're watching at the moment. I'm occasionally rewatching Gilmore Girls when I feel I don't want to be sad. And I remember that when those came out, people were like, they're talking so fast, it's unnatural. And now when you watch them, they're like, they're not talking fast. It's because we got used to it. I know. Do you have an Arab friend? Yeah, I have many people who are Arabic. Oh, Dave. There you go. My son just went off for his fencing class. I'm a football fan. Tennis is also great, but I find fencing weird. What do you think? I've never actually done fencing. I've never done that. It's one of those. It's not a. It's a sort of exciting thing to watch, but at the same time boring because you don't know. You don't really see it. It's like watching band. You don't just. You just have to trust that the computer thing. Oh, that was a hit. Okay, sure. Was it? I do watch Game of Thrones. Waiting for next season, which I guess will come around Sweden Rock. Can you tell us any Swedish tongue twisters? Sex laxar i en laxask. 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 Black Mirror. I have not seen Black Mirror. Do you have a friend from Saudi Arabia? I'm not sure exactly where people are from. I don't know. Je ne sais pas. No sé. Yeah, really? Those were 4 different languages. What about Little Drummer Girl? Alexander Skarsgård star in this show. I have not seen that. Tell Skånska words versus Rikssvenska. Okay. Okay, so Balle, which has the same, I mean, it sounds the same in Skåne as it does in Stockholm and Gothenburg, but they mean different things. In Skåne, it means the buttocks, like your butt. In Gothenburg, it means your balcony. In Stockholm, it means the frontal male region. And what else do we have? The word grina. Let me type it. The word grina in Skåne, in South, it means to laugh. In Stockholm, it means to cry. Yeah. What are some other words? Okay, I think I have to write this out. So I will write what it means. So this one, throw, in normal Swedish, it's kasta. Kasta a ball. In Skåne, it's hutta. Hutta bollen! Hutta bollen! Hutta bollen. This got weird. Hota. Yeah, hota means to fret, but Swedish-Hungarian language challenge. Yes. Why don't you stop by Stockholm and let's do that? Because most of the time with the language challenges, it's based on whoever I meet. It's not like I'm walking around, Hungarian, Hungarian, Hungarian. No? It's mostly whom I run into. Often people will write to me if when they come to Stockholm, and I was like, "We want to do a language challenge." I'm like, "Sure, cool, fun, let's do it." So if you happen to be in Stockholm at some point, hit me up. It's fun. P. What's the first thing you want to check out when you visit a new place? I think that really depends on the place. I guess the place I'm staying at, so that I can sort of not get rid of, but I can like place my things, so I can walk out and explore. Blah. I can walk out and explore with two legs free, back free, and hands free. So I can just go. Do you miss Skåne or Malmö? A little bit. I mean, I was there this week. I came home today. Falafel is so cheap and so good. People are generally. So yes, I do. Yeah, I mean, we talked about doing Skype things, but part of the funness of the language challenge is the interaction live, because there are things happen when you do things live in a different way, especially if you do it outside, because then you have the surrounding that affects you as well. So I'm still keeping it as a live thing just because of the interaction part. What are a couple of other food beverages you think Skåne does better than the rest of Sverige? Goose and black soup. It was Morten Goose Day the other day, which is also my not birthday, my name day, my calendar day. What else do we do better down there? Oh, interesting. I'm not sure. I mean, there are certain things that you really only eat there, but yeah, I couldn't say. Yeah, it's, I was talking earlier about the perception of a country and how that's also a thing with social media. In the old days, you would have these printed books where you found information. That information had been vetted by a lot of people, and it somehow was said to constitute the truth or the facts. But with social media, so much truth and so much facts is being spread around by people and organizations that don't have facts behind them, which makes for a problematic world when people have no sense of being critical to sources, and mobs are formed. And it's just chill, look it up. If it's a problem, there are ways to handle it. Just don't assume things. My teacher in Australia, a film teacher, once said, assumption is the mother of all fuck-ups. If you assume things, it will not be correct. Yeah. And if it's a problem, then, find ways to deal with it. I don't know. Least expensive to stay. I wouldn't say Norway. I mean, it depends on if you're in the big cities or if you're, around. But the currency-wise, I think Norway is the most expensive. I'm not sure about Finland. I guess Finland, Helsinki is not. I mean, Stockholm, Helsinki, and Oslo are all quite expensive, but you can still find decent place to stay at, or like couch surfing or Airbnb. The best food I've ever eaten. Well, I'm guessing at a wedding, because food there is often very, very good. But I couldn't say that this specific was the best ever. Yeah. Tortilla. Yeah. That's the thing, because you, as a Swede, you don't really compare. I mean, you can compare towards Norway and Finland. But most of the time when I go there, I stay at a hotel which is paid by the company that I work for, if I'm there for a business, and if I'm there for not working, I stay with friends. So that's the good thing about being an influencer since over 10 years. You have places to stay when you don't travel. It's very convenient, and it's a lot more fun because then you get to spend time with them, you get to eat what they eat and be part of their culture. And you get to see shows on TV like Pointless, which I recently discovered is on YouTube. I'm like, what? It's a Pointless answer. It's a game show in the UK, I think. Should we move to Sweden? Go around, see the world, experience, be good. So why not? You can go for a vacation first and just try it out. Ah, yeah. I have this. Let's see if I can get this loose. Yeah. These are things to live by. Coined by two brothers, one of them which actually coined my YouTube channel, The Swedish Lad, a few years ago. What is the best time to go to Sweden? Not now. I think late October until early December is the worst time to go here because the weather is like, I mean, if you like snow and stuff, you go further north where there's mountains and snow. It's one thing. But otherwise I would say August probably, when it's not the absolute warmest, but you can still jump in the sea, and the nights are not never existing, sort of, because in the middle of summer it's just there's no darkness. When do I sleep? And that's the thing that people often react to when they come here in the summer, is like there's no darkness, which can be a blessing and a curse. Australia is, yeah, it's very cool. It's very dry. There's like 2 seasons: yellow grass, green grass. In the warm period, as far as I know, there are many biting insects, at least in the forest. Yeah, depends on the year. This year was not a mosquito year, for example, at all. I mean, this year was ridiculously warm. I mean, basically from July till for 6 weeks, it was just too hot. So many forest fires, and just like, sure, I enjoy some stability in knowing that I can go to the beach that day, but that was just ridiculously. Oh, why is he the skitstövlar of European leaders? I don't know. Ask his mother. Is humanity moving forward? I think the responsibility of progress lies more in the hands of the people now than it did 20, 30, 50 years before, because back then it was very much a governed thing. Whereas now, when we have the opportunity to communicate with each other, which we still haven't really mastered, if you know what I mean, we're still babies when it comes to the use of this powerful tool that is the internet. And I think we need to land in that. And of course, I mean, some Western countries where you have internet everywhere, and other places where you don't have internet at all. I mean, in Burma and Myanmar, Facebook is the internet. Like, that is the internet. So it depends on who you compare it to. Why do Americans find Swedes to be such snuskumos? Because we don't have a shtick up our ass. We're not. Our way of living is no longer based on purely religious shame. It's like, we want to live life. Okay, so there's a guy or there's a girl I want to have sex with, and she and he or he wants that too. Well, let's do that. Swedish sin. Maybe that should be a video. That will be a video that will never get any ads on it. I did see Gary Moore for a little short while. I was working there that time, and I actually listened to Gary Moore today, Empty Rooms, when I was walking home. Hello, Rebecca Castillo from Mexico. ¿Qué pasa? Estoy en Suecia. Estoy aquí. And then I want to switch to French, because I'm like, what's the word for with? Oh, avec. No, that's French. Contigo. Spanish is the only subject in school that I've ever had the highest grade in. P. All right, guys, I am going to watch the news, have a cup of tea, and I don't know, sit in my couch, relax, think about what we have talked about today, process it, understand it, and always feel blessed, happy, and appreciative for the fact that I have people who, depending on whatever time zone you are in, that are willing to sit along, comment along, and be here with me tonight, when I had not made a video, but at the same time decided that, yes, it was the right time to go live, so that you can see my face, interact with you live. Meditate.